إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآله إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد عباد الله. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam his last and final messenger. Today we're living in a time where you might only have few true friends, few people that they are willing to stand beside you and will be your companions in your journey in this life. Today, very few loyal students and very hard to find harmony and a good, strong connection between the community members. In a time which is the time of social media, made us the most unsocial people. You know, it's amazing how this social media, it was able or enable us to connect us with the people who are very far away from us. But it also made us disconnected from the people who are so close to us. It's an interesting concept that social media do today to us. So I thought it became, winning people and having friends and building a good ties with neighbors and community members became a challenge for so many of us today. I can testify for that myself when I first came to United States. It was so easy to start a conversation with people in the coffee shop. It was so easy for you to, start a friendship. And for many reasons, it became much difficult as we live today. But I think one of the reasons is that we need to develop that skill of winning people and being able to communicate effectively with others in a way that we win their hearts. And the Muslims community need this today more than any other time. Besides, we do this because that's the right thing to do. But if that's not enough motive to you, I can tell you that we need this in these days more than any other days in our life. Because winning people's heart and winning the masses, it became today a very important goal for us as a community to survive and to thrive, to be able to continue with all the media pressure on Muslims, all what the politicians saying day and night, and a whole entire segment we watch, in January 14 in the Republican debate, all about the whole entire segments. What do you think? Should we abandon all Muslims or some Muslims? It is ridiculous that, the pressure on us we must open up to the community so that people really can to see us and know who we are truly. So I thought maybe today would be a good reminder for all of us to know or to develop and sharpen our skills when it comes to social interaction. How can you win people who are around you? And I'm saying this because as a Muslim community, if we don't love one another, if we are not united, if we don't care for one another, if we don't feel like we all big family, it became very hard for me to see how we're going to do this with people who are farther away from us. How can we build unity farther from our own brothers when we cannot even work together? And before I speak about how to win people's heart and to win their love for you, I want to say that many times when we talk about this subject, we intend to think of those so far away from us. How can I win the conversation with a stranger or build a friendship with someone that I don't know? And we forget that the people we should think the most about when we go over these points are our family members. How can you win the heart of your children? And how can you win the hearts of your parents and your friends and your family members, your wife, your spouse, your husband? And also, how can you win the heart of your neighbors? If you don't have any connection with your neighbors, then you go farther to the community member. Then you go even farther in the big circle in the society in general. Why? Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Khiyarukum khiyarukum li'ahlih." The best among you who are the best to their family. So it starts from there. That's basically the seed. That's the foundation. And also Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Ma zala Jibril yusini bil jar, hatta dhanantu annahu sayuwarrithu." Fi hadith Jabir fi Muslim. That the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Jibril kept reminding me of the right of the neighbors until I thought he will be among those who will inherit the disease. Also Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, and that's for all believers, with all people, قال المؤمن يألف ويؤلف ولا خير في من لا يألف ولا يؤلف رواه الدارقطني وفي آخره قال وخير الناس أنفعهم للناس. That the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the believer is the one who can love people, who has the ability to love and to like people, and he's also likable, someone who people can like or people like. And there is no good in someone who don't like anyone in the world and no one in the world likes him. That's not a good person. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best among you, those who are more beneficial to others. So these some points as a reminder. In most of us, it's a common sense, but this is a reminder for all of us. And we see this in the seerah of Prophet, the seerah of the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he's the role model for all of us as well. Number one, if you want to win people's hearts, your family members, anyone you think of, I want you to remember this. أصلح ما بينك وبين الله يصلح الله ما بينك وبين الناس. Rule number one, if you want, make sure that you win Allah's love first before you think about winning any human being's love. Make sure that you earn Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love and light before you think of winning somebody's like or love. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَيَجْعَلُ لَهُمُ الرَّحْمَنُ وُدًّا قال المفسرون يعني يلقي محبته في قلوب الناس. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us in Surah Maryam, those who believe in Allah and they do good deeds, so their relationship with Allah is good. What Allah will do for them, سَيَجْعَلُ لَهُمُ الرَّحْمَنُ وُدًّا. The most merciful will give them love. Love from Him, that He loves them, the angels love them, and also love in the dunya. And that was explained explicitly in Hadith Jabir, Hadith Jibreel radiallahu anhu, that Hadith Jibreel, that he said to the angels, Allah loves so and so, so He will ask the angels to love that person. Then the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَيُوضَعُ لَهُ الْقَبُولُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. He will be accepted by the people of the earth. Who is that person? Is the person whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. Number two, whenever you deal with someone, make sure that you are sincere with that person. People intend to like sincere people. People don't like hypocrites. People, they don't like fake people. People don't like people who wear masks and that's not their true face. So if you really want to win someone, love, and to gain somebody's trust, it is you do this for the right reason. To be sincere for your praising, sincere for your honoring, sincere for in your respect, but not to do that for any other hidden reason. For example, I don't care for you because I want you to give me a special treatment. I don't care for you because, I think you're a good person to donate for my cause. No, I do this because you deserve that. I'm sincerely loving you. I sincerely respect you. I sincerely like your company and I will spend time with you. So the more sincere you are with the people, the more you will, most likely you will gain their love and respect in return. Number two, if you want to win people, be good to them. أحسن إلى الخلق وقد قال الشاعر أحسن إلى الخلق تستعبد قلوبهم كما استعبد الإحسان إنسان. That أحسن إلى الناس تستعبد قلوبهم. Be good to people and you will enslave them. That's what one person said long time ago. Because doing good to people will make them always in debt to you. If you deal with a noble person, you just do one good thing to him or to her, They will be in debt for you for the rest of their life. And you're not doing this because you want to control them. No. You're doing this because that's how your akhlaq, your manner is. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam always liked to serve people, always liked to help people, always liked to lend them hand. So doing good to them. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Aisha said, to the closest one to him, his wife, she said, كان في مهنة أهله. He used to serve his family, help them in the basically house work and chores. He will take care of that to help her. كان يخصف نعله ويسوي مرقده صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Whenever he fixes his bed, he take care of his shoes, and he helps her, رضي الله عنها وأرضاها. Then if the salah comes, he will immediately leave to the salah. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawm al-akhir, falyukrim jara." Again to the neighbor. Those who believe in Allah and the Day of Judgment, they should be generous. They should serve. They should do good to their neighbors. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna ahabba an-nasi ila Allah fi riwaya ahabbu al-a'mali ila Allah, ahabbu an-nasi ila Allah anfa'uhum lin-nas." وأحب الأعمال إلى الله سرورا تدخله على قلب أخيك المسلم. رواه ابن حبان. That the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the most beloved deed to Allah is that you cause your Muslim brothers or any person in that case to be happy, to make them happy. Then in another narration he said the most beloved person to Allah is the one who is the most beneficial to people. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave many examples, like you pay his debt, you provide food for him, you help him. And that's basically what make people love you, and to win their love and to win their trust. You remember what Aisha, what Khadija radiallahu anha, she said to the Prophet ﷺ. When he first came to her and he said to her that I was basically approached by an angel, Jibreel. And he was worried, what will happen? How he will face his people and tell them that he's a prophet. What did she say to him? She said, إِنَّكَ لَتَصِلُ الرَّحِمِ وتحمل الكل وتكسب المعدوم وتقري الضيف وتعين على نوائب الدهر. All of these qualities, 5 qualities, all I can sum it up by telling you, he used to help people. And because he used to help his people, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved by his people, liked by his people sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, don't worry. You're a person who well accepted in the society because of this quality. You take care of your relatives, you help the needy, you pay their debt, and so forth. All this goes back, one of the things that it will enable you to do that, to possess this quality, which is al-karam, al-jud, generosity. Be generous. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a man passed by him, and he greeted the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he did, he gave him a whole entire it was a valley filled with sheep. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he saw the man looking at this, all these sheep, they look so healthy and nice. That's a lot of money. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do you like them? He said, who wouldn't? He said, it's all yours. The man started running back to his tribe, telling them, you have to believe in this man. You have to follow this man. This man cannot be anyone except a prophet. Why? قال إنه يعطي عطاء من لا يخشى الفقر. He gives like if he never feared poverty. He never fears poverty. He knows that there is the most rich behind him, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving him. This generosity of the Prophet ﷺ have changed this man's heart towards him and toward the deen of Islam to be a Muslim and to be even a da'i who calling people to enter Islam. Jabir radiallahu anh said why the Prophet was loved so much by his companions. Not only because he's a prophet, it's because his character. People just not gonna like you because you're a hafiz al-Quran or you're a Muslim. It is your character what will make people love you. That's why if you don't have a good character, لَمْ فَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. Allah said about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you're aggressive and you're mean to people, people run away from you. But because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a mercy, possessed the great qualities, and one of it is generosity. Jabir said, ما سئل عن شيء فقال لا قط ما قال لا قط إلا في تشهده لولا التشهد كانت لاؤه نعم يقول زين العابدين في وصف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He never said no to anyone صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم Even if he got just a new thing and somebody said, Ya Rasulullah, give me this burd, this robe you just got. He just received it. He said, it's yours. You never hesitate, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to give. And he said, tahadu, tahabu, exchange gift, and that will bring love to each other. So that generosity, it helps you a lot to win people's heart. You know, maybe it's a small thing. Even if you go to a coffee shop and you pay for it, you know, you miss a little gift here and there. It changes people's heart, and you can win people with this small little human touch. We all know Bill O'Reilly and how hostile he is towards Muslims. A few weeks back, or month maybe, he gave a very positive talk about Muslim community and about the Muslim, actually not community, the Muslim in general. You know what was the reason for him changing 180 degree like that? It's because he was in a restaurant in Chicago, I guess, and someone gave him a cheesecake as a gift. You know, just a touch of generosity have changed his heart a little bit. It made him even can't control his emotion and to admit it publicly on TV. And he said the story. So this is something that you should take care, be taken in consideration. Number 3, always if you want to really win people, always when you deal with people, try to put yourself in their shoes. It's very important to do that. Try to think, how they feel. You know, what if I am that person? Don't only think about yourself and you disregard how they feel or what is their position as. So many times we don't know what people are going through. Maybe he has someone sick in the house. Maybe he's in debt. Maybe he's in trouble. Maybe he has so many. You don't know what's happening in people's life. So when you deal with people and you always think that way, you put yourself in their shoes, they will love you. They will appreciate you because you don't just look to them from a distance. You try to relate to them. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibba li akhihi ma yuhibbu li nafsi." You will not be a true believer until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. So in another word, you need to think what my brother going through, what he is or she is feeling at that moment. And from there, I start dealing with them. It's so important for us to know their psychology, their, as I said, their feeling before you pass a judgment on them. Next point, always show the people that you deal with, you talk with, that you care for them. That's an amazing thing. Every time you show people that I really care for you, you know, even the way you sit. I sit with someone, you know, I sit in a way that it shows and presents that I care for you. You know, the way you talk to the person, the way you listen to the person. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when some call him, Ya Rasulullah, he wouldn't say, yeah. No. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يلتفت يقول ابن كثير حتى يجعل صدره تلقاء السائل. He will move his whole entire body to face the person completely with his chest. It's not like, yeah, come on. And you keep going and he's like trying to catch up with you. People don't like that. People like to be respected. When you talk to someone, I'm talking to someone and he's like in his cell phone. I'm talking to someone and he's like somewhere else. You give somebody salam and he's salam alaikum and he's like in this way. People don't like that. People, you want to win people, show them that you care for them. And show that through your gestures, through your body language. Okay? One of the things also that you should know, what Ibn Kathir rahimahullah said, وَكَانَ لَا يَقْطَعُ حَدِيثَ الْمُتَكَلِّمْ حَتَّى يَكُونَ هُوَ الَّذِي يَقْطَعُهُ. Ibn Kathir said one of the habits of the Prophet, when someone speaks to him, he will never cut him off. He will wait until that person finished, then he will speak. You know, very rare to come across people that you have to stop them. Okay, but generally speaking, it's not a good because it shows that you don't care what he's saying. You just want to the end of the story. Also, one of the way to show you basically that you care of them, that you be engaged with him when he's speaking to you. The next point, smile. Smile. And I can repeat that 1,000,000 times. Smiling is the form of charity, as the Prophet ﷺ said. It wins people's heart. You want to win somebody, instantly just smile to them. Why? Because when you smile at someone, you send messages. One of it, acceptance, that I accept you. One of it, I'm happy to be here. One of it, that I have good self-esteem, confidence in myself. And I can tell you, people like these three qualities. People intend to like those who are confident over those who have no confidence in themselves. People intend to like those who are happy versus those who are unhappy. People like those who basically show acceptance versus those who don't show acceptance to them. And it's kind of funny, but it's statistically speaking, there is more dog owners than cat owners. And one of the reasons, because cats don't know how to show acceptance to their owners, while dogs, they are very good in showing acceptance to their owners. And that's why a lot of people attach to them. They like them. It's because they know how to show they accept their owners. So here what I'm saying is smiling, it just sends that strong message to the person, and that will help you instantly to win people's heart. You know, your face can be more eloquent than your words. The impact of your face expressions is way more deeper, more effective than your words. So watch out all this when you deal with people. It's been said, I think it's a Chinese word of wisdom or some, if I'm not mistaken, they said the person, I don't know how it became Chinese, but that's what it is, as I think. They said if you don't know how to smile, you should not start a business. You know what I'm talking about. One of the things also, it is important to win people, is not to criticize people, a criticism that it leaves scar in people's heart. You know, criticizing people is not easy. No one likes to be criticized. Nobody likes to be called out. It's not easy on people's heart. And that's something you should be careful when you do. For example, you know, النقد كالدواء هو ليس غذاء. Yani criticizing and correcting people, it's like medicine. You don't take medicine all the time. What you need to take all the time, food. But medicine, you take it when you need it. If you keep taking medicine all the time, you become sicker. It's not going to cure you. So that's the same thing. When you correct someone or you point something out, you need to be careful. It's like a medicine. You only give it when there is need, with the right amount, not to exceed, not more, not less. So it's a very critical decision that you're going to make when you're going to call someone out or you're going to criticize someone. So my advice, if you're going to do that, make it short. Don't drag. Don't keep it back. Your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, your partners, your co-workers, whoever the person is, okay, your community. Don't make it also general. Be very specific. What is the point that you're criticizing? Wallahi, انتم ما انتم بنافعين. What's that? It was this very common way of, criticizing. He said, Wallahi, no good in you guys. Okay, this community is all this. You kids are terrible. That's generalizing. There's no benefit from that. It just hurt people, turn people off, and nobody gonna benefit anything from you. You have something about your child, say it specifically. What is the point? Okay? Also, always when you criticize people, make sure that you focus on the future. What's next? Don't drag that person always to the past. Talk about what's next. Okay, we want this to be changed to this and that. Don't be ever emotional when you criticize someone. Stay away from emotion when you criticize. Because if you become emotional, you will not be able to convey the message correct. Like, for example, emotional, it shows your emotion. Like, you drive me crazy when you do that. That's showing your emotion, that you're frustrated and angry. You can't do that. Basically, this is what it works. You act like as if we're not friends. That's emotional. You can't do that in criticizing. Make the point. Your point in a very formal, straight, short sentence to the person. Don't ever criticize. If you want to win people, don't criticize with things that it cannot be fixed. Like, I hated it when people do that to me. I just bought a car. And I'm happy with my car. Alhamdulillah, somebody just want to ruin it for me. He said, oh, by the way, this car was overpriced. I found the same one, 2,000 less. Okay, what's the point from saying that? You don't win people that way. I don't think you did a good deal. There is no need for that. This is something that make you lose. It doesn't make you win people. Always, if you criticize someone, make sure that you also mention some of the positive thing about that person or this organization. Most likely, it will be accepted. Don't say it's Amr Ma'ruf wa Nahy al-Munkar. Al-Amr Ma'ruf wa Nahy al-Munkar, forbidding evil and promoting good, must be done in the proper etiquette as well, especially with gentleness. One of the things that will help you a lot to win people's hearts and to win people in general is to remember their names. And don't feel shy to ask for the person's name. Call him by his name. And if his name is kind of foreign to you, let someone has a name, he's from Thailand or Russia or Arabic name or whatever name that you're not familiar with in your own language, don't feel shy to say, can you repeat? How can I say that? And try your best to say it. Okay? Umar radiallahu anh said, 3 things will تثبتنا لك الود في صدر أخيك. Make people love you. One of it is to call them by the names that they like. Also, if you want to win people, learn how to be a good listener. Encourage people to talk about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. People like to talk, they don't like to listen. Okay, so if you can control and master that to be a good listener, you will be absolutely loved by people. Most of the people who counselors and they do with psychology, they are good listeners. And that's why a lot of people love to go to them, because they can speak and speak and speak. Even the people who don't follow Islamic rules, they go to A'udhu Billah clubs and to haram stuff, just because they want someone to communicate with, to talk to. So why would we do that? We can do this in the halal way and learn how to listen to our family, listen to our kids, listen to our parents, listen to our spouses, listen to our community. And it is hard. I'll tell you, it is hard, especially for someone like me who always talk, like in khutbah and classes, became hard, but it's something you need to train yourself to do. And it's a very important key to win people's heart. If you want to be a good speaker, you need to learn how to be a good listener. If we're going to talk about listening, if you talk, make sure that you say what is good. Al-kalimah al-tayyibah sadaqah. Like exactly smile. It is an act of charity, the Prophet ﷺ said. Good words can win people easily. قل لعبادي يقولوا التي أحسن وقولوا للناس حسنا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. All these verses ordering us not to say what is good, to say what is best. That means you need to think before you talk. You need to choose the proper word, the word that will win people's heart. I'm not saying we're going to be perfect, but we try. And when you couldn't find a good word to say, remain silent. قُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِتَصْمُتْ. Make it a habit that you pray for people. If you can, you just don't make it the habit that you curse people. Make it the habit that you always say the positive words, not the negative word. Make it a habit that your words are always words of optimism, not the word of not the words of pessimism. Okay? Make sure that you always try to say what to encourage people, not discourage people. Bring the good news. You don't need to always to be the conveyor for bad news. يَسِّرُوا وَلَا تُعَسِّرُوا بَشِّرُوا وَلَا تُنَفِّرُوا. That's the etiquette of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Good words that you talk about things that people like. Don't talk about the subject that always make people angry and frustrated and divide people. Also, part of saying what is good is to mix your talk with some gems, nice reminders when you talk. But also you can mix it with nice jokes, a historical incident, things make people smile and laugh. Kana Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the companions, they will laugh, they will cry, they will say things about the old days in Jahiliyyah, and they say poetry to each other. That's how the Prophet ﷺ lived his life. Don't be too much in one area. A lot of people think that every time we gather, it has to be a lecture, and it has to be about al-akhirah and the day of judgment, or about the past. What happened in the history. And sometimes we can talk about the present. We can talk about things, a football game. We can talk about basketball. We can talk, but also what's wrong is always talk about this stuff. And we don't talk about anything that can benefit us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yarzuqna wa iyyakum at-tawfiq fil qawli wal amal. أقول هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم استغفروه. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. I'll just end with 2 points quickly. Number one, always try to share, to ask people's feedback. Make them partner with you, especially if they're close to you. Ask your family, what do you think of this idea? Can you tell me some feedback about this? Can you give me suggestions about that? The more you consult people, the more you reach out to people, you win people. Allah told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. And it's what ironic that this verse, consult them. This verse is revealed after the Prophet consulted the companions about the battle of Uhud. And the consultation that he got from the companion was bad one. It didn't make the good result. Yani whatever they suggested led that they lost the battle. But Allah after that said, consult them. So don't let that one incident change the principle. We should always reach out to each other. It means a lot. Just try it. Just try to come to someone of the community here. He said, you know him a little bit, not much. And you can reach out to the person and said, hey, by the way, I'm about to do this. What do you think? What's your basically suggestions? But something not in necessarily his area. You go to a doctor and tell him, hey, I'm about to do operation, what do you think? Yes, because he's a doctor. But reach him to something other than his area. He will feel that he's special to you. I'm not saying don't consult them in the area that you want, but it became a personal touch. It makes a lot of difference in people's life. One of the things that I want to say is kind of funny. There is different cultures, and you have to pay attention to this. One of the things, physical touch, it's one of the language of love. But you have to be very careful when you deal with people with different cultures. Because in so many cultures, the physical touch is not something that they used to. Can you imagine? I came from a country or a background that's completely different than the culture here, especially in this area. So imagine I hold someone's hand and I walk with him in the street, give him a hug and kiss, and I tell him, you know what? Ana uhibbuk fillah. I love you. It will be so uncomfortable to many people, holding their hands and walking. A lot of people very uncomfortable with some of the brother came and kissed them and sucked their cheek, and the kisses and stuff like that. You don't win people that way. So be careful, be aware of this. Some of these things, might not win you people who don't used to this culture, but it could do other people. I'm saying this because we do a lot of people, like we have this Sunday, receptions in the church coming to hear the next door as appreciation for what they did. So sometimes people deal with them the same culture I came from, and maybe it's the different and a kind of awkward moment. So pay attention to it. Otherwise, by the way, physical touch means a lot, like wrapping somebody in his back, or if it's in their culture to hold their hands. In Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when someone shake his hand, he will not let that person's hand go until the guy let it go first. These little things makes a big difference. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala جعلنا وإياكم موفقين من المحبوبين من ربنا عز وجل ومن الخلق اللهم آمين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us this among those who Allah loves and people's love. Make us those who will benefit others. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم انصر إخواننا المسلمين المستضعفين في سوريا والعراق. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في سوريا والعراق. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في سوريا والعراق. اللهم ارفع الحصار عن المحاصرين. اللهم ارفع الظلم عن المظلومين. اللهم إنهم عبادك ليس لهم إلا أنت. اللهم رحماك بهم يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم رحماك بهم يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم رحماك بهم يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ارفع عن إخواننا في فلسطين. اللهم ارفع عن إخواننا المستضعفين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. Oh Allah, I ask you by your names and attributes to help our brothers and sisters in Iraq and in Syria, those who are going under a severe attack in these days, and they've been striving and dying out of hunger and being killed in a very ugly sectarian war. Ya Rabb, I ask you to put away this war and to save the believers and to destroy the transgressor. Ya Arham Ar-Rahimin. صل برحمتك وقوتك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام وصل اللهم وسلم على نبينا محمد وقوموا للصلاة يرحمكم الله.